kind of a sad moment.
The end of an era.
Things have declined, the neighborhood changed.
As an iconic cafe closes its doors on Commercial Drive after half a century in business.
You're watching Global BC. This is Global News Hour at 6.
Coming up, saying so long to an iconic cafe.
It was the gathering place for all the edge people.
Saying ciao to a staple of Commercial Drive. It has been an institution on Vancouver's Commercial Drive for almost 50 years. But Joe's Cafe is about to pour its final cappuccino. Our Paul Johnson joined the crowds of people who came out to say their last goodbyes today.
It was the late 80s. You could catch local bands like 5440 on Much Music and maybe bump into them at this cool cafe, also in its heyday.
A lot of bands here, like 5440 used to come here all the time. They used to serve them lattes all the time.
There was a lineup out the door Saturday at Joe's Cafe. But this time, it wasn't about people trying to get in on the East Van scene, but pay tribute to it.
Things have declined, the neighborhood changed, and business went down.
Eddie Fernandez is the nephew of founder Joanne Toon, who moved back to Portugal this year and decided it's time. Closing a chapter not just on a cafe, but a mainstay of a legendary neighborhood.
It was like no other part of the city. If you brought people from out of town, they went, where are we now?
Commercial Drive in the 80s and 90s was a magnet for artsies and activists. As things changed, Joe's hung on as one of the last of the holdouts.
There's a bit of sadness and happiness.
The drive these days is still funky, but markedly more upscale. If you don't identify as a yuppie, you probably need a yuppie income to live here now. But it may still be too soon to worry that the drive has lost its freak factor.
I'm connected to the ancient poetry of the Latin world.
Artist Laughing Hand showed us his work Saturday, including his homage to Joe's.
Places like Joe's are like old trees. Every fall they sprout. Fairies that travel in the air and sprout up likenesses or facsimiles of their behavior, because everything's interconnected.
Totally. Joe's will have poured its last cappuccino sometime Saturday. As for Joe and his family, expect they'll do okay. They own the building. In East Van, Paul Johnson, Global News.